everyone, this is Trish, my little sister, and today we're going to teach you how to contour the popular way and contour the right way. So let me preface this first by saying that there's really no wrong or right way to do things. However, people do have different face shapes, and today on the right side of my sister's face, I'm going to be showing you how to Instagram highlight and contour, and on the left side, I'm going to show you how to properly highlight and contour. The whole idea of contouring and highlight is to bring balance to one's face. Therefore, you want to make anything really big appear smaller and anything really small appear a little bit bigger. I'll first be attempting to do the Instagram version of a highlight and contour, and I'll be starting out with RCMA foundation palette. The bottom color will be for the contour, and that is going to be the S1. And I'll also be using the Porcelain and Gena Beige, which are pretty close to my sister's skin tone, to be highlighting. Let's get started. Now I'm mixing these first two colors to create that wonderful magic V that everybody does on Insta. It brings a lightness to underneath of the eye, really properly brightens it up. I'm also going to be doing the same shape on the bottom portion of her jaw, so right under her cheekbone. I'm going to be adding a little bit of light. So that's going to go right underneath where I would usually contour. Now I'm going to make that magic mid-forehead circle to bring light into the center of the forehead. And if it does look crazy, again, I'm only doing the right half of her face this way. Now I'm going into S1, the contour color, and I'm going to focus that right into the hollow of her cheek. So right in between the jaw and the cheekbone. It's pretty easy for me to gauge Trish's jaw and cheekbone because we look pretty similar and have pretty similar bone structure. Now I'm going to make a little semi-rainbow on the top of her forehead and bring it down onto her temple. Normally you won't do this to little foreheads, I guess. She doesn't really have a little, she's a wide forehead, but not a tall forehead. I'm gonna create a pretty sharp angle right underneath of her jawline to really make that stand out. Now you just want to blend that in all together. I'm going to focus on the bottom half first, blending that onto her jawline. And bringing that contour a little bit down the neck and onto the underneath of her chin. Now I'm just going to be blending that top highlight color into her hairline and down her temple. I'll start blending out that cheekbone contour using really tiny and quick patting motions. RCMA is a cream-based foundation, so it blends beautifully. And because Trisha has dry skin, it's a great product to use on her. Now using the tipped part, pointed part, tipped part? I like tipped part of the Beauty Blender, I'm going to be blending out the mixture of Porcelain and Gena Beige. And then I will finish up with blending her forehead with the rounded side of that Beauty Blender. Now you can really start to see the shape taking place, how her cheekbone looks more lifted, but it wouldn't be an Instagram highlighter contour if we didn't bake. Now picking up Cozy Airspun with a little puff, I'm going to gently place it right below that contour to really crisp up that line. Now patting out any creases under the eyes, I'm going to immediately set underneath of the eyes with the same Airspun. And repeat right on the middle of her forehead. Taking a little tiny Anastasia brush, I am now just quickly and easily setting any areas that are not currently baking. And now with a blending brush, I'm just going to give a quick dust into her face and get all the excess product off. Now it's starting to become more easily noticeable that the left side of her face looks much rounder than the right side of her face. But I do want to warm it up a bit more, so now I'm going to go in with Hoola bronzer and really focus it in on those contoured parts. This will give her even more depth and a little tiny bit of warmth. Now I'm just going to blend that in with the blending brush the same way I did and move on to blush. This is Ciate Darling. It is a cream blush, and again, Trisha is a bit dry, so I like to use a lot of cream products on her. Now we're just going to add a little bit of highlight using the Cover FX Enhancer drops in Celestial and our Beauty Blender. That's the finished look for that. This is just my sister feeling herself a little bit. Who could blame her? Now we're going to move on to the left side of her face and contour it the proper way for a circle-shaped face. Now, whereas an Instagram highlighting contour would focus on putting the contour in the hollows of the cheek, how you would really do it for Trisha's face shape is you would put it a little bit onto the cheek, onto the jaw, and just the side of the temple. So here I'm just pointing out the hollow of her cheek and how we're going to go onto her cheek from the top of her ear inwards towards the tip of her nose. When she looks forward, this contour should go no further than the arch of her eyebrow, as you can see here. Now this is really going to slim down the sides of her face. And instead of doing a sharp contour on her jaw, I'm going to be coming up onto her jaw with that contour color, again just to slim this part down. Doing a highlight on this portion here would bring attention to it, as you can see on the right side of her face as opposed to the left. Anything light is going to come forward and anything dark is going to recess. So right now I'm just taking some of that S1 shade onto her temple. And blending that out with a Beauty Blender. Again, not going any further than the arch of her eyebrow. You don't want to make it look too small. I'm also going to blend that contour up with my Beauty Blender. And then drag that contour color down onto her neck and cover her entire jawline. When I put her face forward, you can see that the contour that I just laid on the left side of her face is actually pushing her face in, whereas the right side is pulling her face out. Now what you see me doing is contouring slightly onto her chin, because it's already a little bit big. Where you put highlight, again, it's going to come out. So we're putting dark color to bring that back in. Now I'm just going to conceal any circles that she might have, not really highlight. And now with a light dusting of Cozy Airspun, I'm just setting this, not baking, just setting. And then sweeping any of this off and blending that chin because it was driving me nuts. So again, you can see how big her cheek is on her right side compared to her left side because I brought that contour so high up. Now it's time to really darken and deepen this contour, and I'm using Sephora Tranquil, which is a beautiful, really deep gray color. It actually mimics a shadow, which I think is wonderful. You don't see many contours like that. And I'm just packing this color on any place I contoured before. Looks crazy now, but we will blend it out, I swear. Again, putting her face forward so you can really see how that contour is going to help slim up her face. And I'm just going to keep blending and blending and blending until it actually looks like shadows. Here she is face forward, and you can see that the light is hitting the top of her cheekbones and very slightly onto the jaw because we want to diminish the look of a really round jaw. So again, we're just putting shadows on the sides of her face. I'm just going to put a little bit of Milani rose blush on her and hit her forehead, her cheek, and a little bit on her nose. One last blend to give that a really, really seamless look. And that's it. So there you have it. The right side of her face is contoured for Instagram, and the left side the proper way to contour for a round face. Thanks, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a great weekend.